Order. I demand order in this council. Council leader Killan of the Virilite Collective, a tall, crystalline figure whose faceted body pulsed with changing hues, brought down his gem-carved gavel with a resonant crack. The Aurelian Citadel's grand hall fell into abrupt, anxious silence. I, Commander Karix of the Eurasian Recon Corps, stood discreetly in one of the upper galleries, my emerald scales shifting to a subdued cobalt in response to the rising tension. Beneath the sweeping arches and brilliant solar chandeliers, ambassadors from countless civilizations were on the brink of panic. The humans have run amok, shrilled Ambassador Valrek of the HFY Dominion, his bioluminescent tendrils flashing in frantic, erratic colors. They have obliterated 3 pirate installations in the past solar cycle alone. This is madness. A low ripple of dismay swept across the room. I couldn't hide a slight smirk. For eons, these mighty species armed with advanced technology and millennia of spacefaring tradition had brushed off humanity as upstart primitives. Only a few galactic years ago, humankind was deemed barely space-worthy. And yet here we stood, in total upheaval, because the humans had dared to do what most of the galaxy considered impossible. Please, let us keep our heads, interjected High Marshal Arichka of the Tenebhara swarm, her chitinous limbs rattling in frustration. Surely these so-called humans have triumphed by sheer chance, not by skill. One lucky strike doesn't make them unstoppable. I stepped forward, adopting the formal golden hue customary for council protocol. High Marshal, would you care to explain how chance allowed the human task force to pierce the quantum shielding at Arcadia Spire, or how they decrypted Iron Twilight Syndicate transmissions in mere hours? Silence. Even Council Leader Killan's shimmering form appeared to dim slightly. Commander Karix, Killan said, his crystalline voice echoing. You've closely studied the humans. What is your assessment of their capabilities? In answer, I triggered my neural projector. A hovering display materialized in the center of the chamber, replaying the human assault on the Iron Twilight stronghold. The footage revealed a small fleet of human vessels executing maneuvers so audacious, Aurelian Citadel's best analysts had labeled them impossible mere months before. This is not luck, esteemed council members, I stated, letting my throat membranes vibrate for emphasis. They're not using technology we haven't seen. They're simply wielding familiar tools in ways the rest of us never imagined. When Admiral Reyna Holt led the charge, her ship's formation initially seemed chaotic, random even. But a closer look showed them seamlessly coalescing into a lethal wedge that exploited weaknesses in the pirate fortress's defenses, blind spots the galaxy's top tacticians had declared non-existent. And that's not even the scariest part, I added, my scales darkening to a somber violet. This was their response to a single raid on a human mining colony. One attack. Their answer? Systematically dismantling every pirate network in the region, and doing so by the letter of our own interstellar regulations. No one could believe humans would act so swiftly, but the seeds of this tension were planted much earlier during that ill-fated first contact mission with Earth. The HFY Dominion, led by Ambassador Valrek, insisted on managing the initial diplomatic outreach. After all, they had thousands of first contacts under their belt. How different could humans be? They arrived in Earth's orbit with a standard HFY welcoming formation, a dozen ships in symmetrical alignment meant to display peaceful intentions, but it inadvertently mirrored an apocalyptic configuration described in ancient human myth. To compound matters, Valrek broadcast his greeting across all global frequencies, jamming vital communication channels worldwide. The humans, understandably, saw it as a hostile action. We only intended to demonstrate our benevolence and technical prowess, Valrek would later testify before the council, his tendrils glowing with humiliation. How could we have known they would respond with such swiftness? I remember clarifying in the subsequent hearing, within minutes of your broadcast, human defense vessels mobilized. They analyzed your formations, discerned your ship's structural weak points, and formulated countermeasures all while you were still in mid-greeting. When a jittery Sci-Fi captain confused a standard human scan for a weapons lock and fired a so-called warning shot at an orbital station barely grazing it, humanity's swift retaliation began. Their ships didn't follow standard battle doctrine. They broke formation and whirled unpredictably, each vessel acting as if it had an independent mind yet sharing an unseen tactical consensus. The Sci-Fi fleet's targeting systems couldn't keep up. In the end, humans only disabled the Sci-Fi vessels. Their technology could have vaporized the entire fleet. That day, the rest of the galaxy learned an uneasy truth: humans prefer restraint, but they're always prepared for annihilation-level aggression. The tension escalated from an annoyance to a crisis 3 cycles later, when a Sci-Fi colonial armada operating on outdated star charts attempted to settle Unity's Reach, a thriving human world. Oblivious to the colony's existence, the Sci-Fi commander demanded the so-called primitives relocate. Offering generous compensation, the humans summoned their 3rd expeditionary fleet. I saw that footage in the Council archives: mighty Sci-Fi capital ships overshadowed by sleek human cruisers appearing from FTL corridors that shouldn't even exist. The human vessels arrived with unnerving accuracy, weaving effortlessly through minimal spatial rifts. The colonial force surrendered within 8 minutes, having lost no ships but every shred of confidence. Even then, the Council refused to view humans as anything but anomaly. But their complacency shattered when the fearsome Iron Twilight Syndicate, a notorious pirate collective, attacked Unity's Reach without warning, using prohibited sonic disruptors that liquefied entire city blocks. Over 30,000 colonists perished instantly, with tens of thousands more displaced. Ambassador Yara Chen Reeves, representing Earth, demanded immediate Council enforcement actions. We have ironclad data on the Iron Twilight Syndicate's leadership, supply lines, and hidden bases, she said, her voice unwavering. We beg this august body to intervene. Council bigwigs droned on about bureaucracy. We need thorough verification, we can't violate sovereignty, and so forth. Chen Reeves let them talk until she snapped. While you debate, more of our people are dying. We filed every form, every petition, every plea, and nothing has changed. That was the moment humanity collectively decided they were done asking. By authority of Article 7, subsection 23 of the Galactic Charter, Chen Reeves declared, her tone a lethal calm, we assert our right to independent action in defense of our civilians. Your one-cycle deadline has come and gone with no result. Therefore we will act, with or without your blessing. You lack the authority, Killen cried, his crystalline facets flaring red. That article demands explicit Council approval. It does not, Chen Reeves corrected, eyes like steel. Look closely at Section 23C. It allows any member species to take unilateral measures if the Council fails to respond to a clear threat within 1 standard cycle. That cycle ended 1 minute ago. Suddenly, the chamber's screens lit up with tactical feeds. Human warships had begun moving en masse into every sector infested by Iron Twilight pirates. No warnings beyond a stark broadcast. This is Captain Elias Storm of the U.S. Skywarden. All civilian vessels must clear the designated sectors immediately. Any vessel remaining after 30 minutes will be treated as hostile. This is your only warning. Panic swept the Citadel. All eyes flicked to Council Leader Killen, who turned to Chen Reeves in desperation. Ambassador, let us negotiate. Negotiation time ended the moment you valued procedure over lives. You had your chance. Now it's our turn. I was assigned as the Eretan observer, officially to oversee the offensive, unofficially to learn how humans fight. My findings were nothing short of staggering. At Kethra's Vale, Admiral Holt unleashed a mere trio of corvettes to clear an entire fortified asteroid belt. Instead of bombarding from a distance the conventional approach, they darted between drifting rock fragments, turning the asteroids themselves into projectile weapons. In under an hour, the Syndicate's stronghold collapsed, its defenses undone by relentless ingenuity. We don't rely on bigger guns, Commander Holt told me on the bridge of her flagship. We find cracks in your armor, even if those cracks are a nanometer wide. At Arcadia Spire, Captain Storm led his Marines in a zero-G infiltration that defied every principle of standard station defenses. They utilized vent shafts, ancient cargo routes, even garbage chutes to appear behind locked blast doors. The Iron Twilight defenders found themselves besieged from within and surrendered in record time. Your species' structures revolve around logic and efficiency, Storm explained. Humans, though, thrived for millennia by doing the impossible for sheer survival. We see an obstacle and think, how can we twist it to our benefit? Each time the pirates adapted, humanity countered with a new trick. They manipulated electromagnetic fields to sabotage advanced shielding, deployed engineered pollen to clog life support systems, and even weaponized solar flares by harnessing specialized sails. Legendary raiders who had terrorized sectors for centuries found themselves helpless against an enemy that tackled them everywhere at once. In 3 solar cycles, the Iron Twilight Syndicate went from unstoppable to extinct. Their networks fell, their ringleaders arrested, and their fortresses seized without the usual toll of drawn-out warfare. The galaxy watched, thunderstruck. Then, in a dramatic twist, humanity exposed reams of data implicating several Aurelian Citadel members, yes, including leading figures of the Tenemashra swarm, and even a few Virilites in long-standing pirate affiliations. The press conference was as jaw-dropping as any cosmic cataclysm. You accuse us of falsehoods, High Marshal Arichka hissed in the council chamber. We've never sanctioned pirate attacks. In response, Captain Storm simply tapped a control on his wrist console. Holographic evidence sprawled across the chamber: illicit financial transactions, secret council protocols to commission pirate strikes under the guise of frontier stabilization. Gasps rippled outward like shock waves. Council leader Killen's crystalline body dimmed so drastically that he appeared as if carved from a dead star. We could broadcast this to every civilization right now, Chen Reeves said, not a hint of mercy in her voice. But that would destroy the entire council structure overnight, leaving the galaxy vulnerable. Instead, we propose actual reforms. Then Admiral Holt showcased the final card: the humans' hidden armadas, equipped with FTL breakthroughs the rest of us didn't even know existed. On the screens, hundreds of warships materialized from improbable jump points. Gasps turned to stunned silence. We invented this drive technology a decade ago, Holt said, almost casually. We kept it concealed as an insurance policy. We also embedded infiltration teams in your networks 6 months prior. As you see, we can shut down every defense system here with a single command. She pressed a key and the Citadel's internal turrets went dark. Here's how it goes, Chen Reeves continued. You, the Council, will enact genuine transparency and meaningful oversight. You'll end the black market deals and pirate sponsorships. Humanity will help enforce these measures, so corruption can't root itself in the shadows again. That sounds like a coup, Kalan said hollowly. Chen Reeves shook her head. Call it evolution. The old ways have led to centuries of stagnation, nepotism, and borderline tyranny. The galaxy deserves better. The choice is simple: embrace reform with us or watch your empire crumble in the face of the truth. It took a mere 6 minutes for the council to submit. The official statement called it a mutual agreement for structural improvement. We all knew better, but the humans, ever the pragmatists, allowed the council elders to save face. That was 15 cycles ago. I'm preparing this final dispatch on the eve of my retirement as Commander of Galactic Intelligence. In that span, humanity has proven 2 things. First, they are as terrifying as any predator species we've ever encountered, maybe more so. Second, they have a remarkable capacity for compassion, governance, and stability. Gone are the days when pirates ran rampant. The last vestiges of raider clans know better than to antagonize a galaxy now backed by Earth's formidable presence. Unity's reach, once a symbol of human vulnerability, stands as a beacon of cooperation and trade. Our technology, once stagnating, has roared to life again thanks to humanity's free market competition. Innovations leap ahead in leaps and bounds. But the most striking shift is how the galaxy views humans now. We no longer pity them as primitives or barbarians. We've witnessed them operate at the highest levels of cunning and strategy, with minds that see no boundary as insurmountable. They continue to surprise us, particularly with their sense of humor, which they wield as deftly as their rail guns. Last month, they unveiled yet another FTL breakthrough. When we asked why they hid that technology for years, Dr. Leon Ford, the brilliant human physicist behind it, replied simply, "We like to keep a few aces up our sleeves." I'm still unsure what a deck of cards has to do with interstellar travel, but the message is clear: humans always have more in store. They might be the toughest defenders in the cosmos, ready to bare their fangs if forced, yet they prefer forging alliances, exploring new frontiers, and uplifting other species. As long as you don't cross them, that is. Now, the Aurelian Citadel is something of a model government. Audits and reforms have drastically reduced corruption. Council leader Kilon remains in position, maintaining order and remembering the day he nearly lost everything to unstoppable, irrepressible human will. As I sign off, one final note to any newly discovered or emerging species that stumbles upon this record: never underestimate the humans. They could be your greatest allies in times of crisis, or your harshest judges if you threaten innocence. If a situation arises where you provoke their ire, may your deities help you, because none of us will. Remember what Commander Yara Chen Reeves once proclaimed on the council floor: "We humans aren't the monsters you should fear. We're the monsters who hunt the monsters. As long as there's peace and justice, we'll defend this galaxy with everything we have. But if tyranny and cruelty try to worm their way back in, let's just say, you won't like the outcome." Commander Karix of the Auretian Recon Corps, signing off for the last time. May the cosmos continue to prosper under humanity's watchful, unpredictable, and awe-inspiring gaze.